Hello and welcome to Genshin Hot Takes. About a week ago, I asked you guys to submit your most controversial opinions about the game. Lots of responses. Thank you guys for participating. I'm just gonna read over a few of the specifically spicy ones that I saw, and we're gonna discuss. This is just gonna be like a casual discussion video. So let me pull up the first hot take. I genuinely like PAIMON. I actually am shocked by how many people are annoyed by her. I even like her voice. I think it's cute. I actually got several comments about PAIMON not being bad. I don't find PAIMON annoying. I think she's cute. I feel like for me personally, I've always been pretty vocal about disliking PAIMON, but after I saw so many comments about her, I've been thinking about it a little bit more. To me, it comes down to two things. The sensory overload of her voice, which is potentially related to what language you're playing in, as well as her dialogue itself. I play the game in English, but I do find her English voice to be sort of shrill. I know that I am very particular about sensory things in terms of sound, high-pitched noises, so I think it's sort of a personal problem that I don't like PAIMON because of her voice. I know that recently her dialogue has been seen as sometimes rude. Personally, I think that her tone in saying these lines is what makes them extra annoying, so I almost wonder if her voice was directed differently, if we would like her more, you know? Like, how much of it is the writing versus the delivery? All right, next. The Genshin character design critique is a valid critique, and there's truly no discernible physical features on characters that point out what region they're from except clothing, but even that is lacking. Now, I make a lot of videos showing people Genshin characters who have never played the game before, and something that I hear come up very frequently is they all look the same. They all look very similar.
So, you know the what's-her-face dolls that we used to play with as kids?
Yeah?
It's like they had a what's-her-face doll, they just scrubbed the face off and like changed the outfit and just like popped the wig on and like stapled a face on, if you notice any similarities, because they all just kind of like, they don't all look the same, but they look very similar.
I think there's a lot of work that could be done in facial features, body types, skin tones. There's so many characters and we have this level of sameness across the board, and you know, we have to mix things up a little bit so everybody is distinguishable from each other. I understand that we're trying to keep costs low by reusing resources, but this game makes a lot of money, so. Aloy in Genshin is dope AF. It's what got me back into the game, and I hope we get one or two more crossover characters, like if/when Genshin comes to the Switch. Aloy gets so much hate in this game. While I understand the critique, we also have to acknowledge that her presence in this game has brought people over. It has brought Genshin players over to Horizon Zero Dawn. That's the nature of collabs. We cannot deny that it did something in terms of bringing people over to each side of the community, and we have somebody right here as proof. No, I want to play as Luigi. Put Luigi in Genshin Impact. Really long and involved world quests should be voiced, just like the story quests. I'm not sure about this one. While I know that like the world quests can get very boring and you just end up click, 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 click because there's nothing to like grasp onto other than just reading endless dialogue, there is endless dialogue, and I'm sorry, but even if it was voiced, I would still sit there click, 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 just trying to get through it. Some of the world quests are extremely engaging, like the Jet world quest was amazing, but not all of them are, you have to admit. A lot of them are very long. It's very expensive to get all of them voiced. I understand why they're not. However, this brings us into one of our next hot takes. The lack of a skip button is essential to slow down player progress. Respectfully, I think that we could use a skip button. I can see them only including it for certain quests. Perhaps they don't have it for the Archon quests, for example, but they do have it for world quests. I understand wanting to slow down player progression in like the earlier ARs, but at this point, what are we slowing down? The game's already slow enough. There's so much dialogue. People who are running out of things to do play the game a lot. And a skip button is optional. You do not have to skip cutscenes. You can do it if you want to, but I think the lack of a skip button is deterring players who don't want to read all the dialogue, who aren't here for all the lore. They just want to grind for characters and run around the map, you know what I mean? I think it would make the game a little bit more accessible to wider audiences if we had a skip button. Hottest take, Sino's jokes are funny. You are so brave for that. Kaya is still the king of Genshin, alongside Zhongli, Alhaitham, and High Ponytail Diluc. I like how it's specifically High Ponytail Diluc. You know what they say, you never forget your first crush. Genshin Impact really introduced Kaya to us first, and I will never forget him. Also, Genshin definitely focuses more attention on attractive female rather than male characters, and I think that's a mistake. I feel like since Sumeru, they've been getting a lot better at it. Alhaitham, Kaveh, Tignati, Sino. You know, we've been getting a lot more male characters recently, or maybe I'm just imagining things, but I feel like they're getting a little bit better about it. Here's a real spicy take for you. The worst way to experience Genshin Impact's story and world is to play the game. This took me a second of thinking to figure out what they meant, but this is how I'm interpreting this. I play this game. I play every Archon quest. I play the story quests. I level my characters. I explore the world. There is so much about the world and the lore that I don't know because I'm not reading through every artifact description. I am not looking up all the characters' voice lines. I am not getting every character to friendship level 10. I'm not reading the Wikipedias. I'm not going online and reading all the fan theories. I play this game, yet there is so many things that people get on me for not understanding that I would not have run into if I'd casually played the game. You know what I mean? There's so much hidden stuff that I feel like shouldn't necessarily be that hidden. I feel like story quests can be a little bit stronger to convey some of the things that they, you know, hide in the deep character lore. I think there's a lot of talking, so sometimes important lore pieces get buried, and you do feel like you're falling behind a little bit if you're not constantly super involved in the community and reading everything there is to read. I'm just the regular gamer, you know what I mean? I feel that you should just play how you want and use characters you like. It's not worth worrying about meta or anything. This game is for fun. I agree with this. I think people get a little bit too angry about damage numbers. You know, people make fun of other people if their damage numbers are not high, if their damage numbers are higher. It is a game at the end of the day. Not everybody has the same amount of time as you to put into this game. Not everybody likes to play it in the same way as you do. So let's just all be nice to each other and play however you want. Don't worry about what other people say. Don't worry about the meta. If you think Nilou is beautiful, then you get Nilou, okay? Gacha makes Genshin a better game. The fact that you have to choose a character you want to save for, then all the months of farming and waiting makes it such a joy when you finally get them. If we got them all for free and it only took a couple weeks of farming, we wouldn't be as attached to them. I think being a whale is a detriment due to this. Interesting. While I agree that farming for a character is a lot of fun and is very satisfying, I feel like there should be a little bit more Fremo gems roaming around in the game. But as this game continues to grow, we have 2 banners now. I think we need some more Primo gems to get things we want. I don't necessarily agree with the final statement. I feel like people should just play however they want. If they want a whale, that's fine. I like the Abyss Mage's voice.
You just want the book.
I respect your opinion. Hot take. Osmanthus wine does not taste the same as I remember. I'm so sorry you feel that way. Animo needs a tall male model character. Yes, he would be the most spicy, powerful man in the entire universe. Dia should have lost her arm when the Eremite was gonna cut it off. That felt like a cheap twist. Yes, I was disappointed. I'm sorry, but if that was a real world scenario, that guy would have been like, snap, cut it off. I don't know how that would have affected her in-game model, but they could have figured it out. The map is way too big. How much land does a game need? Listen, my biggest gripe is how long it takes my game to load, and I can't help but think it's the dang map. This world size is gonna be insane by the time we're like 2 or 3 more years in. My personal problem is like Enkonomiya and all these like random offshoot areas that I don't have any reason to go back to unless there's a specific collectible I need there. I don't know, I'm a little bit torn on this one. I think adding to the map is a good way to keep people engaged in between like big patches, because my personal favorite part of the game is running around collecting chests and exploring the new map areas, but I don't know. Hot take, Ayaka is the most boring, annoying character in the game. A wet paper towel has more personality. There are so many people who don't like Ayaka in these comments. I was flabbergasted to the point where 2 people compared her to wet paper. Maybe she's kind of bland compared to some of the characters in the game, but I think she's very like realistic. See, now you know how I feel about Ganyu. And that is it for all the hot takes we have this time. Thank you guys to everyone who submitted. If you liked this video, let me know as well if you want me to make more of these spicy hot take videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye!